Hey everyone, welcome to the Like-Minded Creators Podcast. I am here in Las Vegas, Nevada, behind a very green tinted window looking at the Las Vegas airport. I am here with my guest today, Royce Lopez of Revenge of the Sis, Daywave, and a million other shows from back in the day. I've known this guy for about 15 years now, and we have Jon from the Incredible Sulk stream on Rumble. And we're here to talk about live streaming and content creation and doing regular broadcast streams. Now, Royce, I've known you for the better part of 15 years now. We came up together in the live internet radio podcasting scene. You obviously took it to a whole new level. Revenge of the Sis is blowing up. You can't go anywhere on political commentary and social commentary podcasting without finding you guys. So what came about with Revenge of the Sis? Like, how did this whole thing get started? Not to ask a hack question, not right out of the gate.
Well, you know, being like a creative type, listen, I want to rap about the craft with you. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, I don't know, man. You know.
Tell him how Dan Schneider was involved.
Dan Schneider was involved. That's a big crux of this. He made a lot of people famous, us too. Not in the same way as other people, you know, the foot thing. But
you didn't show him your feet?
I did. He doesn't want to see my feet.
He'd love to see my piggies.
You're a little too old for Dan Schneider.
Yeah, that's like by 40 years. So, no, man, like I, you know, it's funny telling Hammy this because he knows all of it. But you know, we started doing podcasting. It was like 2006. I want to say 7. Like, and back then, dude, if you want to talk about the creative process, you guys now are so fucking lucky.
Spoiled.
You're so spoiled. Back then, to do a fucking podcast, you had to go find, and this is literally, the only way to do it, use band equipment and or like music equipment and stuff like that, because podcasting, the only people who were doing it back then, I remember this very vividly, was like Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
You know, was doing his show, and that one took off. And back then, there was no live streaming or anything, and it's, you know, back in my day, you had to upload.
Not to sound like grandpa.
You had to upload all your audio
to an RSS
feed. To then, there was no video aspect of this, and to do live stuff, we had to do this like workaround to have a live streaming just audio. It was a nightmare. And now, like, any idiot with an Amazon account and $50 can start streaming, which is, look, it's good. I mean, I'm glad that anybody could do it.
Or any idiot with a camera and a couple of wireless microphones in a hotel.
Exactly. We're doing a literal podcast right now, and there's like only 4 things, and that's all you need. And you can travel the world with it. But it's, which, you know, I do like that, and that's great. But, like, you know, that I started back then doing all that. Then we got into the live streaming aspect of it, doing more comedy stuff, and then Mersh and I started doing, you know, the ROTC stuff. Well, we were doing a show together before the Fifth Circle, which was just more comedy stuff. And I honestly, even now, it's like, we get pigeonholed as political stuff, but like 90% of our show's mostly comedy.
Yeah.
So, you know, we do some political stuff, but I mean, that's what we like doing. But yeah, then, you know, the Dan Schneider thing really like made us blow up. Like you said, like, you know, we, one day was just on Reddit and on Twitter and years ago, and was reading about all these people talking about Dan Schneider, like, what's he doing with kids and the whole feet thing, and I'm not going to get into that whole aspect of it, but anyway, that blew up.
What was that Nickelodeon documentary that came out just like last year or 2 years ago?
Oh, yeah, the Orange Years or something? Was that what it was called?
No, it was something.
Kidsfeet.com? I don't know.
No, it was something secret or something. I don't know. Fucking remember what it was.
Like Drake and Josh were interviewed for it too. So like this whole thing blew up because Dan Schneider, like basically the creators of all of our Nickelodeon shows that we grew up with as kids, he wasn't a nice guy. Let's just say that, to put it mildly.
Yeah.
And Revenge of the Sis were talking about an interview in former Nickelodeon stars before the whole thing blew up. So you guys kind of like broke the mold on this. And
it blew up,
you
and
broke the story.
And then we got iced out. Business Insider reached out to us, and we had a meeting with someone from Business Insider about it. But then we realized very quickly that they didn't really want. They were gonna ice us out. They just wanted our sources, and I'm like, I'm not gonna give you my sources. No, you're not gonna ice me out of this shit. I'm not doing that. And also, I'm not giving you my sources because I'm not a journalist in any way, but that's unethical though, right?
Yeah,
it's like these people trust you. I'm not gonna go like, here is Jill. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Suffice to say, Business Insider sucks. But we got ice out of it. But we got ice out of a lot of stuff. And I'm not trying to like say woe is me, because I think a lot of people do. So a lot of people, like smaller creators, that you see it all the time. They come up with an idea and somebody steals it, and then it takes
the game.
It's the game, man. It sucks, but. Look, I'm lucky doing what I do. Like, we could be out here doing this, which is cool, obviously. But, but in terms of the creative process, like, man, I don't know. The audio, this, Hammy. I taught myself how to do all, like, the technical aspect of this. And that's the way that you have to kind of do it in this thing. There's
YouTube University for a reason.
Exactly. But when we came up, there was no, like, mentors, because nobody was doing podcasting. You just had to kind of
There's people that we idolized and we're
before,
like...
Rogan?
Yeah.
You were doing it before
I was doing
Rogan?
it before Rogan. I literally helped Anthony Cumia set up his compound studio many years ago. So yeah, I was doing it before
There's a
Rogan.
lot of funny stories we could tell with that person.
God.
But you just literally just mentioned, it's surreal to, I don't know if you listened to it, he's back on AM radio, and he had Jim Norton and our mutual friend, Mr. Eric Nagel, in studio, and they were riffing, because we all obviously grew up listening and idolizing Opie and Anthony, and that's where we all, at one point, got inspired to do this. And I don't know, did you feel like this sense of nostalgia and wow, like we're hearing them on terrestrial broadcast radio again? Just riffing like they used to back in the day?
It is. I mean, it is cool. And I love Yurok. Yurok's like one of my really good friends. So he's one of my favorite people. It's nostalgia, but I mean, it's what it is. Like, it's one of those things where like when a wrestler comes back and it's cool for like one pop or one pay-per-view. But if they're back for like 6 months, you're like, oh, they shouldn't be doing this anymore though, right? And that's kind of how I felt with that, is like, yeah, that's cool, but it would really be exciting if we had another AM show. AM's not coming back. Like, no. I just like to be realistic about this kind of stuff, which is like, yeah, it's like super cool in the same way, like, John, those people that get like those CRTVs because they're they're cool. Oh no, CRTVs,
like nostalgia, so and like a Super Nintendo.
So I can play a Super Nintendo the way it's meant to be. That's cool, but it's not going to replace a 4K flat screen. So for fun, once in a while, it's great. And I think that, I think, to be fair, a lot of radio people kind of adapted pretty well to podcasting.
A lot of them.
It's not that difficult, really, to do it unless you're Opie. It's not that difficult unless you're Opie and just screaming at people for no reason.
Well, unlike Opie, I know when I'm not the funny one in the room, and I'll just dilute it to the funny people. But that's besides the point.
Hammy is funny.
Yeah.
But
looking.
Boom. And smelling.
No.
I went too far. I'm sorry. My bad.
But I do find it funny though that WABC posted the video feed of that Ant and Jimmy show, and it's clearly the most viewed video on their whole YouTube channel, and they're liking all the comments that say, "Please make this a regular thing." So I don't know. We could see some sort of a reunion there, minus the cancer.
Hold on. I can't listen without the Opster.
No.
I need the Opster, bro.
It's the missing key of the whole thing.
That's the whole thing. That's a linchpin.
Because he generates the conversation, and he's the board up, so he needs it.
He knows what he's doing.
So, but getting back to Revenge of the Sith, which, by the way, the name still makes me laugh every time because it's a play on Revenge of the Sith, and 20th anniversary of the movie, by the way. But that's the here or there.
Really?
Yeah, it's 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
God, that hurts.
Say that. I hate it when people say that.
It's been 20 years since that movie. Remember when that was those were the new ones? Those were the new ones?
Yeah.
Boy, we really looked the gift horse in the mouth with that, huh?
Yeah, it's the sequel
I'll go
trilogy
back
that
to
came out.
midichlorians in a heartbeat compared to whatever this lesbian lightsaber shit that they have going on now.
Dude, I mean, like,
The sequel
Lord of the
trilogy is
Rings came
terrible.
out like fucking 20 years.
Shut up.
It's just like,
I can't.
well,
I still think 20 years ago is 1985, and
Yeah.
20 years ago,
No, dude, I'm telling you, it's crazy.
20 years ago, WCW got bought. Like, it's...
We need to bring back Halloween Havoc.
Well, I think that's
Not
an
an NXT, for real.
Oh, for real.
Not at Full Sail.
So going back to creating, you are live streaming 5 days a week, and that's just with Revenge of the Sith every day, 4 to 6 p.m. And then you do a solo show with John right here and me sometimes on occasion.
Been
Called Daywave Radio. That's every weekday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., sorry. And then your colleague Mersh does a show Nightwave Radio, 10 p.m. to whenever the hell he wants to sign off.
Whenever
5
the
days a
bottle
week.
of Jameson runs out.
So I guess my question is, how do you deal with the pressure of having to deliver entertaining content 5 days a week on a consistent basis and like keeping the audience drawing in?
Does it have to be entertaining? Because I just go on.
Yeah, it's just
I'm
have
just
to be.
like-
You gotta have to just be there. No, I mean, for me, I don't know. Like, honest answer, I've never worried about. I talk a lot, obviously. I've never worried.
I didn't notice at all.
I've never worried about. I've never worried about being funny. I just haven't. I always try to like. As a matter of fact, like when something isn't like it's hard to be funny, I actually, I want to. There's got to be a way. So I don't know. I like doing it, and look, the gig's easy, man. You hang, and you're not by. I'm not by myself. I'm doing shows with people that are also funny, and that's kind of and everyone I do a show with, we all kind of are pretty good at riffing off of each other and doing that, and it's like the gig isn't bad, man. You're just like.
You also have team building skills, right? You sought out some like pretty talented people to be on.
Yeah, you put people that mesh well together too. I mean, that's the other thing. It's like so some shows where you're like, why? What is it? Fat About Basketball that we were covering. It's like there's some shows that just like don't mesh well. So I mean, everyone does really well, and they have different strengths, and they're just I don't know. I've always found that I've always surrounded myself. Here's the thing. Anyone that I have on my show will be someone will be like, do I want to hang out with that person in real life? Are they going to be funny? And that's it. And if they say yes, it's like, yeah, okay, then.
How worried do you get when you bring someone on for the first time? You're like, oh, is this guy or girl going to be like?
I'm not worried because then if they're bad, I just make fun of them. And then they'll just come on. They won't come on again because I made fun of them. But no, I don't worry. I mean, for the most part, it's like, it's not. Anyone that I would have to come on would be someone that I would have to already know is. That I've talked to and hung out with or know they're like, oh, this person's funny. Or they're some sort of, talent. So, I mean, I don't know. I've kind of always kind of just gone with the flow with it. And it's worked out. I mean, I think our shows are good. I think we're pretty funny. But it's like, it's an easy gig, man. You're just like, you're hanging out with your friends, basically, and just telling jokes. It's not that hard.
And there is a difference between your Daywave show and Revenge of the Sis.
Yeah.
Like, you get Revenge of the Sis, there's a little more political topics of conversation. Like you guys will riff on the BS going on in Congress, but you won't talk about the actual issues, much less than actually just making fun of the person saying it.
But I think that's the fun part. Because the problem is, look, everybody. Here's the issue. Everybody, like especially political not forget comedy, politics. Like where you go to every fucking show, the front page of anything. And you look at it and it's like everyone's going to have the same takes and they're going to say the same, right or left. I forget what you believe. But if you're on the left, you're going to have the same takes. You're going to have the same takes. And everyone's going to say the same thing. And it's like, that's great. But then the market's saturated. So why would you watch A versus B? If you watch us, we're probably going to make fun of the reporter because she looks funny. And that's going to be more fun than the actual news story. Because here's the thing. We always say at the beginning, it's like, we're not geniuses, we're probably wrong. We just look. The end game for us has always been
to get a laugh out of people.
Just be funny.
Yeah.
Just laugh. And we get in trouble sometimes too because people are like, oh, you're actually saying that person's funny, but they don't believe what you believe politically. I'm like, I don't care. Funny's funny. I don't give a shit. And that's how I've always believed it to be. So it's like, I don't know, that's more us. Like we'll play a story and we'll just make fun of the reporter.
The show's more about us having fun than anybody else.
That's basically true. And it turns out some people like it and actually have fun. It is. And it's also Daywave's mostly about frozen eating shit.
Yeah, I can't. I don't understand Daywave. I don't really have a handle.
I don't think anyone can understand Daywave.
John, I host it, and I have no fucking clue what's going on most days.
It's a fever dream.
Daywave's crazy. Daywave's definitely just 100% funny.
Just riffing on like anything that's on the internet.
I will wake up sometimes with Daywave, and I'll be like, oh man, okay, we're going to hit this, or I want to play this, we're going to play that. I will play none of it, and then we'll talk about what's the best steak sauce. I don't know. Just because it's more funny if something goes off on a tangent, and I try not to.
You would say Daywave is sponsored by ADHD.
Yeah.
If you want to look up the definition of what ADHD is, just listen to Daywave.
Hammy just says that because I've been giving Hammy's just being mean because he doesn't like I've been giving him dating tips when he comes on. He comes on Daywave. I've been giving him dating tips. This Casanova over here, I've been.
Well, I got more dating tips from Keys to the VIP than anything else.
Yeah, I know. I mean, who brought that to you? Yeah, Daywave brought that to you.
It's a fabulous show, and I've learned many ways about
terrible
women.
show. It's a terrible show.
What do you mean it's great? What do you?
It's an awful.
You know what? Nah,
I hate that show, dude.
The biggest tip I found was really to live in my grandmother's basement and spike my hair a lot and think of the cheesiest pickup lines.
And call yourself the blank.
The blank.
It doesn't matter what.
Yeah.
Just the blank and the cool guy.
And by the way, when it says this guy, this guy over here fucking's been doing all this stuff for as long as Hammy, as long as I've known him, also. And now his channel's taking off because he became the John Taffer of fixing church audio, which I love, by the way. And I was telling Marie, I watch Hammy's stuff, and I'm not even like, look, I mean, I care about the way this stuff sounds, but I am not an autist with audio like Hammy is. Like Hammy is like, it's crazy. Like he has a problem. And no, everything sounds great.
My problem is I don't like bad audio.
See what I mean? He can't help
and there's
it.
going to be someone in the comments that's like, says the guy wearing cheap DJI lavaliers.
Yeah.
There's going to be someone that says this, but...
Yeah, Hammy and I were talking...
Yeah, you said it.
Hey, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I said it.
Hammy and I were talking about the difference...
Testing.
Hammy and I were talking about the difference between our fandoms, between his and mine. And like mine, I played different songs on Daywave, so one of my fans was really cool, and he went and he put like every one of... Remember all of our songs on the Spotify playlist, the Daywave playlist. It's super cool. And Hammy's like, oh, cool, I just have people yell at me because I'm using a wrong microphone, and they're just mean to me. And he goes, I get unwanted advice, and you get cool playlists. I'm like, well, we have a different audience, dude.
Clearly, very different audience on our channels.
We get super chats and he gets corrected.
Oh, here you go. I'm going to do something for you. I'm turning it around. Give me one hot take about an piece of audio equipment that you like that these people are going to get mad at. Hot take. I want a hot take.
Oh, there's so many. Well, one of my biggest hot takes, the Neumann U87, which is a $3,500 microphone that everyone in the industry uses, it sounds like shit and it's completely overrated.
Oh,
That's gonna ruffle some feathers.
So people are gonna be pretty mad.
Yeah.
So see that I like this. See, I like this. This is what it's called. This is what the craft really is. let me
Just pissing people off.
No, hold on, guys. Let me hold on. Let me rap. This is what the craft really is about. Okay,
the hat's coming around.
You think it's about audio quality and microphones and all this, like, oh yeah, where do you get your ideas from? It's not. It's about making controversy and having the comments fighting with each other. Because you're watching this video right now, right? And you're looking at me and you're going, I'm gonna hit the dislike button, and that's fair. I'm not very likable, but if you do that,
you guys have the shades on. I gotta join.
Yes, thank you. If you do that, you are still doing what we want, which is engaging in this video. So the problem is, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. So you can like it or not. This is about content. Real content is controversy. There's never been someone that's gone viral for real.
You could say, to quote Eric Bischoff, "Controversy creates cash."
Yeah, it is. Hold on. Let's do the Andrew Tate. Listen, you have to dominate women. Okay, that's how you become viral.
Bugatti.
Watcher. So this is what this is
Channel
about.
your inner Andrew Tate.
This is what this is about. Okay, it's about making.
It's about sex trafficking.
Well, that's not what this.
Hold on, I need to get the. Hold on, I feel like I got to join the party here with this.
That's not what this is about.
I
don't think it's about
that. John, you went too far.
Again,
the Incredible
it's okay.
Sulk.
I'm muted. I'm pretty sure this is muted.
The Incredible
muted me,
Sulk
right?
stream every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m.
John, what's your show about?
My show, well, first of all, I started doing my show because
I started doing meth. I just couldn't sleep.
I didn't stop. I started doing
We're all
my
tired,
show
everybody.
because
We're tired.
we met, and then you're like, you should do a show, and I've been honing my chops for about 10 years doing stand-up and other type of improv, not specifically improv, but I did that, and I just watch documentaries and I give my opinions and stuff, and there's a lot of jokes, and it came very cleanly. And,
you're doing good. You got a bunch of new subs, too.
I'm getting a bunch of new subs.
By the way, let's make Hammy mad again. He has people that go out of the way to make these awesome like thumbnails and like run his clip channel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Hammy has people that are screaming right now, still currently, even though it's been 10 minutes, about your hot take earlier.
No, what I think people are going to be doing is, well, no, what happens is you get people to make thumbnails in a cool playlist. Yeah. Mine, well, I've actually seen comments where people critique my thumbnail making skills.
Wow, you know
what?
It's
really
funny.
Just all the text on it. You don't have anything else.
Well, you should put more work into it.
Yeah, honestly, the problem is, it sounds like a user error.
Skill issue.
It's
clearly.
a skill issue. Honestly, level up.
Mm-hmm.
Guys in the comments, I'm actually with you.
Get good, nerd.
Yeah, get good, noob. Hammy is one of the best audio guys ever. Like, anytime we're going to do anything video audio related to Mersh and I always go like, well, maybe we can fly Hammy out because, I mean, there is actually nobody better in terms of that because he is absolutely on the spectrum. However, much like Rain Man, if you could use it to your benefit, do it. This guy is a machine. Like and not only does he fix stuff like that. Like we'll be out somewhere. Yesterday we were out. Okay.
Nice to know that my friendship is judged by my audio skills. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were in Fremont, right? And we were in Fremont Street and we're walking. Okay, we're walking on Fremont Street, and it's awesome. It's because it has like the LED fucking ceiling.
The ceiling and
super
everything.
Cool. And we're hanging out, and this is what this fucking autist is doing. He goes, "It's really cool how those speakers, they're only playing audio for that band, but those speakers, they're playing audio for the Spanish band." And I'm like, that's the thing you're noticing.
That's what I noticed.
Not the zipliners. Okay, cool. And
not
that was
not like the quarter mile of LED on the ceiling.
So much distraction.
And then the bikini flamingo girls walking around. There's guys doing handstands. A guy in a gorilla suit.
Some
and he's
magician swallowing a sword.
Yeah, and he's like, that actually.
I noticed the speakers.
Immediately cool set. So yes, that's the other side of how good he is with audio is you have to go anywhere you go and there's a slight audio issue. I was so happy. Can I tell you I was so happy? Because we went to go see a band. We were sitting down, the Latin band that was by the New York that we sat that night.
2 nights ago, yeah.
2 nights ago. He goes, "Oh, their audio's really good." I'm like, "Oh, thank God, he's not going to complain about the audio at least. It's going to be great. It's going to be great." But he is good.
They were a good band.
And those church videos that Hammy does, I got to tell you, watch them. They are addicting. I'm not even a dude that's like really into like the down and dirty with the audio stuff, but like. One of the segments you did that I was like really liked and I thought it was super intriguing was when you were fixing one of the churches and you were testing the audio with them and then you guys just started talking about football.
Yes.
I thought that was super cool. It felt like it was like a little podcast within a podcast and I'm gonna say it on camera. You should do more of that. That is such a cool thing that nobody does.
That is one of my tricks to get a vocal sound check. It's just I ask them about sports because everyone has an opinion about their favorite team.
But it's a cool little mini podcast in what you're doing, and I think that's actually really cool.
You get hot NFL takes while you see me doing my audio nerd thing, getting their microphone set.
That way you piss off 2 fandoms.
I piss off 2 fandoms.
Again, listen, guys,
and
this is about content creation, okay?
And
have you heard of Logan Paul? Thank you.
Oh, well, he beat AJ Styles last night.
Yeah, he beat AJ Styles. AJ Styles was just phoning it in at this point.
It's funny that you mentioned the podcast thing because one commenter on that video said, on that board, you could just copy and paste the settings. You don't have to do it individually. So that's literally one comment I got from.
So hold on.
You have people that make playlists.
You have people that get mad at you for copy pasting?
Okay. For not copy and pasting the microphone settings.
Okay, guys, look, I know that you like audio stuff, and I get it.
I don't get it.
I know.
I don't understand.
John, you know when you like buy a kid to make him feel better? I'm doing that to them, to his fans. They're not my fans, so what do I care?
Yeah.
So they can, I don't give a shit if you guys like me. But like Hammy, he's a really nice dude. And it's crazy because like the stuff he was saying before we started about you guys was really bad.
Really bad.
I guess you would call it slurs. And I'm like, Hammy, come on, man. Like, I don't even think there is a term for Albanians, and you made one up. That's super weird.
He calls them all bots.
It's super weird.
Never heard of that. Never heard of that.
This is a new one, but no. What were we talking? Oh, we were talking about content creation, folks. And I'm gonna do it again. No, but that's.
Because I guarantee you, someone's gonna say these guys aren't on topic.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
hey, go touch grass, audio loser.
This is
Go
If you
outside
want a
and touch
show on
grass.
topic, watch Daywave.
No, do not. Terrible advice. Terrible advice.
No, it's about lying to children, right?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
That's right. Listen, if you watch the Daywave, you got to pick one toy.
Yep.
One small toy.
Get a sucker.
from Pessy's closet.
They're the suckers.
Don't trust Pessy's candy.
Well, this is the kind of friend. This is the kind of friend that Royce is, because I haven't seen him in since WrestleMania of last year.
Yes.
Him and his wife Marie came down to the barn in Sanford, which is 40 minutes from your house. I was there on tour with Surrender to Eden, and the very first thing, other than the hug, handshake, hello, I go back to the stage to get something, and I come back, and this is the kind of friend that Royce is. He went to me in very good acting skills here. He said with a dead face, "Hey, by the way, touched your board," and I immediately went, "What?"
And he looked through me. I thought he was going to kill me. And it's funny because he had walked away, and I had told you, I go, watch what I'm going to do with him. We were there with our friends.
We were there with my friends. It was just before my birthday, so we used my birthday.
Pat, I think Pat.
Yeah, Patrick and Adriana.
Yeah.
Oh, they're awesome. So anyway, the first.
He couldn't remember their name, but they're awesome.
No, they are. I just wait, listen. I have so many friends. So when I was so I tell Adriana, I go, he's really OCD. I go, watch. And when you walked away, I said, I'm gonna tell him I fuck with his board, and he's going to lose his mind. And she goes, no. I go, just watch. And as soon as he came back, I go, hey, Hammy, I messed with some levels on your board.
And even though the part of me knows that he was joking just to get a reaction to me, I instinctively was like.
And I said, I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
Like that scene in Jurassic Park when he sees the Brontosaurus.
Yes, exactly. He went like that.
Dr. Ham Grant.
Oh, man. But yeah, and also seeing Hammy handle people that are being jerks. Like this guy walked up at that same event, and he was saying oh, I can't really hear it over here. And you said, what did you say something about? It's about the fractals or some shit you told me?
Yeah, one person came up to me because of a Metallica tribute band. He's like, "Hey, are you the sound guy?" And I'm standing behind the board, literally operating the faders. And I'm like, "No,
I'm the taco dude."
No, I'm an exterminator.
I just thought this looked cool.
And he's like, "Well, I can't hear that." I'm like, "Well, I can."
Well, stand over here.
Yeah, I can hear it just fine. He's like, "Well, I can't hear." I'm like, "Well, they have a fractal and DI guitar." I'm like, "I can raise it, but I hear it just fine. So you're deaf." And he just awkwardly walked away because I wasn't putting up with it.
You couldn't hear the sweet licks of a Metallica cover.
I'm surprised you didn't strangle him.
This.
Hammy's not necessarily a violent man. I will say that about him. I wouldn't call him a violent man. I would call him obsessive compulsive. That I would call him that.
That's fair.
Yeah, but no, Hammy's not somebody that's going to start a fist. I wouldn't fuck with Hammy. I'd be afraid of him. Hammy's a thick dude, so I think it would hurt.
Thick as in with 3 C's.
Okay, well, how many C's you need, dude. Hammy. I don't think Hammy would ever really hurt somebody, but he would hurt their feelings. He's not nice, as you could see how he treats you guys, his fans. Not me. I think you guys are cool. Earlier when I said you guys were stupid, that was a lie.
He was joking.
Yeah, now I'm telling the truth. You guys are pretty rad.
Flip-flop.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so.
Play both sides. Always come
Stay
out
on
on
your
top.
toes.
This was a fun WrestleMania weekend.
This is super fun, man. I had a great time.
We're here in Vegas, and we were experiencing. We didn't even go to WrestleMania. We were going to film some.
Dude, okay, so we went to this is awesome.
We were going to go to Allegiant Stadium, and we were literally right outside the stadium. We were looking at tickets because we're idiots and we wanted to buy a day of and get them cheaper. We were like, oh no, they're way, way, way too expensive. So we're like, hey, we found this. You found this cool poolside viewing party. We're like, okay,
so cool.
we'll go to that.
It was at the Circa, right? They have this thing called the Stadium Swim, and we were like, there's a WrestleMania party. Dude, this shit was awesome. The screen was humongous. You're in the pool and the hot tub the entire time. The food was pretty good too, and
That's why we're wicked tan.
Those frozen drinks were.
Oh my god, I had too
Expensive
many
as
of
hell,
them.
but very good.
No,
I had
we
too
were
many
just
of
like,
them.
me too.
Too many pina coladas.
But it was awesome. You know what was funny? It was how many real, actual, legit wrestling fans were watching it with us, or the guys with the belts that were there that were really into it. But
Wasn't Nero there?
Yeah,
Mira
Mira
was
was
there.
there. Mira was there. Yeah, that was pretty cool seeing that. That was really cool. The whole thing was like super fun. The entire weekend was really fun. And
We went there Saturday and we're like, hey, why should we go on Sunday? Like, we could just watch it here. Like, it was kind of fun and much cheaper.
Definitely cheaper.
So we were
Vegas,
like,
man,
so we woke up yesterday and we were like, oh, okay, let's just go back to the pool. That was fun. So we spent WrestleMania in Vegas just watching it in a pool, and it was awesome.
It was, dude,
Highly
It
recommend
was better, honestly. I mean, like, I'm sure it would have been cool inside, but I like the pool.
I like being the outside in the pool. I thought that was cool, and also we weren't like cramped with somebody else sitting next to them in a seat for like 3 hours.
And it wasn't $600.
Jesus Christ, dude! Philly was awesome. Philly, we got like tickets for like nothing. Remember, like nothing.
Yeah.
And the day of, some people were getting awesome seats, and the year before that when we did it, or when we went to Dallas, same thing. But like Vegas, it was like, fuck. They were like, no.
Very
It was
expensive.
sold out, too, both nights.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it would have been, the pool was better instead of being in essentially a greenhouse with a bunch of wrestling fans that don't know what deodorant is.
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't survive a
They're
hotel
a
room
stinky
with one of them,
bunch.
but like, imagine sitting in a
stinky
stadium with
bunch.
full of them? No.
No, instead there was a lot of girls with nice butts.
Yes.
There was a lot of nice butts. And by the way, to be fair, a lot of good-looking dudes too.
Very, very nice muscular
Because I
dudes.
was there, am I right?
I was going to make the same joke, but yeah.
Hell yeah,
right on.
dude.
You beat
We
me
were
to
there.
it. You beat me to it, though.
They were like, who are these jacked podcasting kings? Is
I
what
was
they
just
were saying.
flexing.
Like
Yeah.
that whole
And
time.
there were some dudes that even I was like, oh,
Flexing with my
I
pina
look
colada.
okay comparatively.
Hammy was making yummy noises.
All right, Revenge and Assist, Mondays through Fridays, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Daywave Radio, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
The Incredible
Sleepy
Sulk?
McSleeperson, Nightwave, 10 p.m. to whenever the hell he wants. And The Incredible Sulk,
Yeah,
Monday to
all one word.
Fridays on
Monday through
Rumble.
Friday, 8 p.m.
He's
That was
Royce,
awesome.
he's John. Thank you guys so much for watching. And this wasn't really an interview. This was just us hanging out and shooting the shit, but I don't care. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.
We'll call it the write-off.
And
That's
how you
actually
end
not.
it.
That's not the worst
They're pulling
idea.
it now.
That's how you end it.